There are over 6 billion people in the world who believe in God, but only one of them is going to heaven. Only one. And it's not the Pope. It's not the Dalai Lama. It's not the most generous, kind, or intelligent person in the world. It's none other than a 70-year-old German tourist named Joseph. And he doesn't even know that he's going to heaven. The thing is, for the last 30 years, he's been searching for it. He's traveled all around the world looking for the birthplace of Jesus Christ. And in his quest, he's visited every country in the world except for one, Bhutan. So when he learned that there was a monastery in Bhutan where monks had seen Jesus after he ascended to heaven, he knew he had to go there. He spent months preparing for the journey, training his body to be able to withstand the altitude, getting as fit as he could so that he could make the long trek up the mountain to the monastery. But when he finally arrived in Bhutan, he had to face an even more difficult challenge. There was a huge festival happening in town, so getting a guide or a porter to help him was impossible. Everyone was already busy with the festival, but he needed help, so he prayed to God and asked for a sign. And just then, out of nowhere, a young girl approached him and said, "Are you the Pilgrim?" And he was like, "Yes, I am." And she said, "I've been waiting for you." And then, without saying a word, she grabbed his bags and started walking up the mountain. Now, they walked in silence for days until they finally reached the monastery. And when they did, the old monk at the entrance stopped them and asked the girl why she brought a pilgrim to the monastery. And she replied, "Because he sought you, so I brought him." Then the old monk turned to Joseph and said, "You have been searching for Jesus for 30 years, but you didn't find him because you were looking in the wrong place. You see, Jesus isn't in Jerusalem. He's right here in Bhutan. And you, my friend, are the chosen one. You are the one who will inherit the kingdom of God." And before Joseph could even respond, the girl took off her hood, revealing that she was actually an angel. And then she disappeared. And the old monk told Joseph that she would be his guide in heaven. And then he too disappeared. So, yeah, heaven is real. But the only way to get there is by being a 70-year-old German tourist. The pilgrim, an old man with a long white beard, walked slowly down the dusty road. His destination was the sea, a place he had never seen before. He had walked for many years, leaving behind the only life he had ever known in search of something more, something better. He didn't know what it was, but he knew he would find it by the sea. As he walked, the pilgrim sang songs of old, songs that spoke of love and loss, of joy and sorrow, of hope and despair. The melody echoed the rhythm of his footsteps, the notes swirling in the air like the dust around him. Each step he took was a beat in the song of his life, a testament to his journey, a journey that had taken him over mountains high and through valleys deep. He had left his home when he was young, not because he hated it, but because he loved it too much. He wanted to see the world, to experience all that life had to offer. And so he had set out on his pilgrimage, a journey without an end, a quest without a goal. The sun beat down on his wrinkled face, his eyes closed in contentment. He had no fear of the heat or the cold, for he had walked in all kinds of weather, in sunshine and in rain, in snow and in wind. He had learned to live with the elements, to respect their power, to appreciate their beauty. The pilgrim wasn't just a traveler. He was a seeker of truth, of wisdom, of enlightenment. He had studied many books, had spoken to wise men, and traveled to distant lands in search of knowledge. But he knew that the answers he sought were not in books or in words, but in the journey itself, in the experiences of life, in the beauty of the world around him. As he walked, he saw wonders, things that made him stop and marvel. A bird that flew so high in the sky, a flower that grew in the most unlikely of places, a cloud that looked like a beast from a distant land. He took it all in, each sight, each sound, each smell, for he knew that these were the things that made life worth living. The pilgrim walked on, his eyes fixed on the horizon, his heart full of hope. He didn't know what lay ahead, but he was ready for anything, for he had learned that the greatest discoveries are often made when we least expect them. He had learned that the journey is the destination, that the path we take is as important as the place we reach. And so he walked on, the old man with the long white beard, the pilgrim, the seeker, the traveler, the one who had everything and yet had lost it all, and the one who had found it all in the journey itself.